Hey, this is Angus Clark from Coons Clark Band, and you're listening to Rock on Radio with Danny Coleman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Rock on Radio. We have a very special show tonight, recorded live at the 2 Tracks studio of Deko Entertainment. But first, as you notice, producer Claire has left me unsupervised once again, so I cannot be held responsible for my actions or the actions thereof my guests. But I can tell you, Rock on Radio is brought to you by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey. They are the official caterers of Rock on Radio. Lillipie's of Princeton. Inside the Princeton Shopping Center at 301 North Harrison Street, Lillipie's provides fantastic baked goods, desserts. They have breakfast. They have all kinds of things that I eat until I explode from Jen's hand grenades of happiness. Again, Lillipie's of Princeton, the official dessert provider of Rock on Radio. Phoenix Art Supplies and Framing. They are on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Jenny Schaefer has been providing the Doylestown, PA area with quality art supplies and framing for more than 40 years, so check them out. Phoenix Art Supply and Framing. The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Make sure you come on out to the Long Branch Jazz and Blues Festival, which in part is sponsored by the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Producer Claire and I will be the MCs for the event on August 23rd at the 10th Street Pier in Long Branch, New Jersey. Beautiful day, overlooking the ocean. Fantastic stuff. JSJBF.org. New Jersey Stage Magazine. Go to newjerseystage.com for the finest arts and entertainment lineups, stories, and happenings anywhere in the Garden State. You can also find my column, Rock On, This Week's Soundbites there. My interview with the legend that is Mr. Tom Rush, who will be performing at the Sellersville Theater on August 15th. So go check him out at newjerseystage.com. Asbury Park Vibes. Diane and Doug have a fantastic staff of around 15 photographers who can cover any kind of music event or beyond. If you're a band in need of some great pics, live or otherwise, headshots, realtor, maybe you want some headshots, press releases, website bios, go see Doug and or Diane at asburyparkvibes.com. Dee Dee's Lights. Dee Dee is the official chandler of Rock on Radio. She makes all of our candles that you find in our gift packs and gift bags that we give away. You can find her on Instagram at Dee Dee's Lights, DeeDees Lights. Once again, that's Dee Dee's Lights, the official chandler of Rock on Radio. Sinister Footwear. Go to sinisterfw.com and check out all those wild and zany socks that Tina sells. Use the promo code DCRSOCKS and you'll get 10% off at checkout. That's Sinister Footwear, sinisterfw.com. And we are here at the 2 Track studios of Deko Entertainment. Before I go any further, and we're going to introduce our guests very shortly, but before I do that, I want to let all of you know that Tyndall Road Brewery is the official beer supplier of Rock on Radio. They are located at 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown, New Jersey, and they are a blast. Go on in and check out the fine craft brews located at 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown, historical Bordentown, New Jersey. And I want to give a special shout out to Radio Garden State, my man Mike over there, where you can hear this show every Monday, the Rock on Radio Indie Hour every Wednesday, and Danny Coleman's Got the Blues every Friday at 10 a.m. All right, now that that's over, I have Bruce and Charlie of Deko Entertainment. We also have Madison in tow today. But Madison's under a gag order. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to sign an NDA right before the show.
All right. So we're here to really talk about Deko and independent artists and the things that are happening here. You guys got some big records coming out here, or releases, I should say, coming out. So where should we start?
Well, I guess, basically, we're here for independent artists of all kinds, all genres. I mean, we really don't do any specific genre of music. I know probably the bulk of it's, rock or hard rock stuff. But we do have some, alternative type music. We have acoustic folk music. We have some jazz artists. And, we're just trying to create a community for artists to go to, that need help above and beyond the days of the big record contract, because those are pretty much gone. They're few and far between. And even most of those labels are trying to get out of that business model. They want the artist to do all the work themselves.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to A&R, it's like, I remember talking to this guy Steve Lunt I'd worked with probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and he finally got out of the A&R business. I mean, he was at Jive. He signed Britney Spears, then he moved to Atlantic, and he just got so fed up. He said, because it was just, no offense, Madison, a lot of young kids in there, and all they looked at were analytics, and it was basically like, hey, this one's got 1 million, whatever, and go sign them.
Right.
But we don't even know what they sound like. It doesn't matter. Go sign them. So like the real true A&R is gone. Nobody does that anymore. And then you kind of got the wild west of anyone can record anything anywhere, and a lot of times it sounds great. People have studios in their home, in their bedrooms, and make these amazing sounding records. But you've lost the gatekeepers. What is quality music and what deserves to be put out? When you've got, what's it, Bruce, we talking about 140,000 songs get uploaded every day on the DSP, Spotify and Apple. It's just so much clutter. So we're just there to kind of help guide artists, older artists that have had, say, their heyday or career and are still putting out good music, give them the opportunity to put it out. I mean, we have a very good distribution network through 88 Warner Brothers, who does our distribution worldwide for digital and physical in North America. Right now we work with a company called Cargo out of London, and does our UK and European distribution. So we move records for people in a day when even the majors don't care about moving physical product anymore. And like I said, we're trying to build a community for them to come and guide them as well, especially the younger artists. Bruce knows, because we're on phone calls every week with new artists, and the horror stories of we just spent $10,000 on a PR campaign, and
because the photographer took a picture of Led Zeppelin 22 years ago.
Yeah,
so he's going to do he's doing our photographs, and he's only $20,000.
Well, now, in all honesty, because what you just said, Charlie,
we're always honest. You know us pretty well.
Well, this is true. This is the honest room.
Yeah,
we know that.
This room's very honest.
There's a lot of honesty that comes out of this room. But what you just said is kind of strange, because Swirsky was here last week or the week before, right? Mark Swirsky. And there's a really good band out of South Jersey and down like around Cape May, South Jersey. And these guys are phenomenal. Guitar players off the hook. And I said to Mark, because Mark's always like, if you see any bands that might need a producer, keep me in mind, send them my way, I'll talk to them. So I send them to him. And he told me that essentially they're doing the same thing. They're spending big money on PR, but they don't have any product. So
what's the point?
What's the point? and it's not a it's not a booking agency. It's just a PR guy. So why would you, as an artist, which kind of brings us to the list of things that you said you wanted to discuss, as an indie artist, what should be the priority, I guess?
The priority is not wasting money, not spending money you don't have. Music doesn't always bring back a lot of money. A lot of musicians are really wonderful at what they do, but they have day jobs because the music just doesn't support them. You're not selling a lot of physical product. You got to play out a lot. That doesn't always work out, especially if you're taking a piece of the gate. What artists need to do is have good guidance about being disciplined about where the money goes and getting the most bang for your buck, and what the real expectation is for an artist. What do they expect? What is their goal? And I think one thing Charlie and I do is we try to make it really realistic for them. We try to bring them to a point where they could actually answer those questions. And we're the first to tell our artists, look, don't do this. It sounds like a great idea, right? But what's the return? What's the return on investment? So I think the role of record companies in the future, good ones, it's going to be to partner with the artists and give them guidance, because they know the inside of the business. They know what's going on. But at the same time, the artists need a team behind them to help them, because doing everything yourself is tough. It's tough. And you don't want a team to be value replaced. You want the team to be value added. So I think...
we do run into that problem sometimes. An artist comes to us, and it's all of a sudden they stop doing everything they were doing because they think we're going to do it. It's like, no, you keep doing what you're doing. We want to add to that and grow it, Yeah. And that's where the true kind of partnership team thing comes in.
Right, because one of the things that you have here in this kind of an outline is, and you've used the number $10,000, Charlie. Is it better spent on a music video or on touring and promotion?
Well, look. Everybody wants a great video, right? You don't need to spend $10,000 on a video anymore. I mean, look, I grew up in the day, and I'd seen the budgets. $400,000 for video, $500,000, $1 million to do a music video. It's so preposterous to look back at that all these decades later, and it's like, wow. Think of how the artists would be if they took half that money and just put it in their pocket for their retirement.
Right.
So and the technology is so great these days. We do videos with artists. They're in the studio, and we just tell them, get your iPhone out and just shoot everything that's going on. We did this with Tiffany. We did one of her music videos. I said, Tiff, when you're in the studio, just get the iPhone and just get a bunch of stuff, and we'll cut it together and we'll do a video. And we did a great video. Of course, it's not Thriller. It's not this big, massive production, but you're promoting the song and you're promoting the artist, and you really need all that ridiculousness that goes, with the video, especially if you're trying to break somebody new or trying to build your career. You don't want to put yourself in that much debt. So that's kind of one of the things where we would say, no, don't spend $10,000 on a video. If your budget's $10,000, let's figure out what to do with that $10,000. Let's make some great product. So you're actually selling something, so maybe you can make some money back before you, like you said, go hire a PR company to promote what? You're not selling anything, so why are you spending that money? And tour support, I still think the live environment is great. I think for younger artists, you should go out and play. Danny, you grew up, we all grew up. That's how you honed your chops. That's how you developed your craft, and I think that's still very important. And get out in front of people and open up for a band that has a following. Even if it costs you a couple bucks to sell tickets to get on that bill, take a little bit of that money and do that. And take a little bit of that money and make a video. Take a little bit of that money and concentrate on the DSPs, Spotify and Apple. You don't have to get on a Spotify curated playlist to grow your listeners. There's plenty of other really great, third-party playlists out there that got 100,000 followers. And concentrate on getting some of those. And then Is PR necessary? To some degree. It's not bad to get coverage in a couple key magazines and get those sound bites you're looking for. Hey, so-and-so said this about our new album. Yeah, that's good to have. And then use that and cut it up into social media. Spend your money on social media. Take it from Bruce and I. Our budgets for our artists, most of it, it's social media spend. Direct to the consumer, direct to the fan. This is what your favorite band is doing, and this is where you can get it. Why should I go spend money on a radio advertisement? No one's going to listen to it anyway. And if they do, they're going to go stream something on Spotify. They're not going to go click on a link. You got somebody on their phone, and they see, here, the audience can't see it, but we're looking at the new Slash Halloween record that's coming out. Direct to consumer. You're on your phone, you say, oh, shoot, Slash has got a new record. I want to buy it. Click, boom, done. You don't want to see it in a magazine, especially when you're doing a limited run like this. By the time the magazine runs and you get to our website, it's sold out. So what was the point of spending the money?
Right.
And now I'm just rambling. Bruce, help me, please.
I thought you were.
I'm getting all jacked up.
All jacked up.
Oh, my.
Yeah, well, Charlie's 100% right. I don't think there's much I could add. You have another question? Come on, Danny, do your job, man.
I just did my job. I let him ramble. And so how does, because we have 5 minutes or so from now, we have a phone call coming in from ventriloquist April Brucker, who has a residency in Las Vegas and her own YouTube thing, where she'll tell us it's some show that's on some channel out there somewhere.
You're using up my 5 minutes, Danny.
5 minutes.
Well, you have 5 minutes till she calls.
Oh, well, exactly. That's why I can't get into music, because we got 45 songs that bands that Charlie wrote down here.
We got some good stuff to play for everyone.
This might have to be a two-parter.
Yeah.
But so how does Deko help the artist? Like, okay, let's say Madison here, who, let's say she's an artist. All right, you could say hi, Maddie. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Madison, the artist.
There you go, Madison, the artist. And let's say she's an artist, and they find you through whoever, whether it's this radio program or your research or whatever it is you do. And they come to you, and you have that initial meeting. What happens?
We make it real. I mean, there are certain realities in music, and not all musicians abide by reality. Sometimes
Most of them don't.
Yeah.
Most of them don't. That's right.
Our job. Look, Charlie and I are both musicians. Our job is to not allow the people we work with or the people we advise to think outside the box, but instead we encourage them to get a bigger box. So, know what you're investing. Independent artists invest a lot in their career. So, our job is to, A, find ways for them to save as much money as humanly possible to get the best result, the best products, and then to advise them where not to, like I said before, it's about wasting money. Every dollar that goes out should bring back $1.50. And if that's not going to happen, then that should be the expectation. In other words, when you're spending money, you shouldn't have an unrealistic concept of what is that money's going to do for you. And we have, bands that have been around 30 years that are great, but they're just not going to sell a boatload of CDs, most likely. And we tell them that. And we're brutally honest. And what's your expectation? If your expectation is, look, you want to know that you're giving it your best shot, you're not wasting money, and you're having fun. If all else fails, you had a blast. That should be the goal for certain musicians. And then if something wonderful happens, it happens. But it's like buying a lottery ticket and, thinking, well, I'm definitely going to win. It doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. And we're realistic.
My father, I think he still calls me every week. He's like, this week we're going to hit.
I'm
like, Dad, I'm 56. You've been telling me this since I can remember when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
I was running a big company and, doing really, really well. And my father, who barely worked, before he passed away. He would buy lottery tickets and tell me, "I'm going to get you out of this." And I'm like, "Out of what?" He's going to take me out of
success.
Yeah.
Well, now, Charlie, you've had multiple successes as a musician.
I don't know if you call it success. What do you think?
Success and money are two different
Success
things.
and monetary success are two different things.
Well, yes, and yeah, but I mean, obviously, you're here. You have a car that drove you here. You have a house. You put food on your table. You do a lot of things. You've seen the world pretty much. Yeah. You've toured all over the place with Angel and I don't know how many other bands. I mean, last time, or not the last time, but a few times ago, we were sitting here and you told me Nancy Wilson needed a keyboard player,
Yes, that's true.
And they reached out to you. So you're known in the industry, and so you've reached through, or you've overcome that initial hump of getting yourself out there, which is what I think all these unsigned or indie artists want to do, because it always cracks me up when they come in here and they sit down and say, "Well, I'm not doing this for anybody but me." Well, then why are you even here? Do you know what I mean? You want people to hear your music.
Charlie went out on a limb. I mean, he quit his day job and started a record label.
Yeah, it's taking a chance.
Yes.
And like for me personally, I jumped back in this at just hitting 50. And I thought my musical adventure was over decades ago. I never thought I'd come back into it, and it just kind of happened. And I think it's kind of key where if you're not, don't fake it. Be true to yourself, and if it's going to happen, it'll naturally happen. But you have to be out there, and you have to be somewhat aggressive. You got to make yourself known. You can't just sit at home and play scales all day, because no one's going to know who you are. And that's what I mean about going out and playing and touring, because you meet people, and you meet more people, and you meet more people. The phone rings for me from time to time is because I'm out there. I'm on tour. Like I said, I've toured North America, Europe, Japan, all over the place, and you meet people along the way, and it's also, it's good karma too. Be nice to people, and it'll come back to you.
Well,
be a complete jerk. Actually, it works for a lot of people. They're like complete jerks.
Yeah.
They're super
You
successful.
can succeed being a
Yep.
jerk.
Yeah, but and like Bruce said, and then all of a sudden it was like, right before COVID hits or whatever, it's like, yeah, you know what, record company, that sounds like a great idea. Let's give this a whirl, And
Let me call Bruce.
Here,
And,
speaking of calls, Bruce, we have our phone call just coming in now. Hello, April Brucker. Welcome to Rock On Radio. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm doing great. Better now that I'm here.
Whoop, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. Cut out for a second there. Better. All I heard was better now, and then you cut out.
Better now that I'm here. I have no idea what that was. I think, how you have the gremlins that mess with the phones? I think my puppets are messing with my phone.
You do have quite a collection of puppets, as you are a... do we still call people such as yourself ventriloquists, or is there some politically correct thing I'm missing?
I'm a ventriloquist, but May, what do you have to say about that? I have May Wilson here. I prefer the term Textile American. And who am I speaking with? Hello, handsome.
Oh, wow. I missed.
And I got a lot to say. It might not be FDA friendly, but you can use your imagination.
Wow, see that? I don't think I've ever been flirted with by a puppet before on air or textile.
Textile American.
Thank you, Textile American. Yes, I'm sorry, I forgot. So, Textile American, you have lots of fellow and female Textile Americans that perform with you or take the stage with you while, April takes you places. What is happening in Textile American life right now?
Well, we have a television special called April Backstage. It's available all months on Cage TV. you can get your tickets on cagetv.uk/April. And I've been getting a lot of love from around the world. So, yeah, and it's April Backstage where me and my Textile friends do our thing. And just in case you're wondering, I'm the star, May. We're both the stars as well as the rest of the cast. No. I'm the star, May. There's no I in team, but there's a me.
True story. Well, say, April.
This is what I deal with all the time.
Well, say hello to Madison, Bruce, and Charlie of Deko Entertainment, which is where we are doing this program from, the 2-track studios of Deko Entertainment. And they are
so
here.
Madison, Bruce, and Charlie, right?
That's
hello,
correct.
Madison. Hello, Bruce. And hello, Charlie. Okay, May behave.
Charlie's lips moved.
Charlie's lips. See, May dumped me already, Charlie. It sounded like she was hitting on you. I'm not sure.
Well, Charlie, my lips move. May, your lips don't move. I didn't say what you said, Charlie.
Oh, my.
She's very fresh. I'm so sorry, Charlie. And Charlie, if your wife is listening, I am not responsible.
Is that why she's called May? Is that like Mae West? Is that what we're dealing with here?
Yeah, I'm a huge Mae West fan, but also, April, May, but yeah, Mae West. Why don't you come up and see me sometime, Charlie?
Charlie's speechless.
You got nothing to do and lots of time to do it, big boy.
Hey, there's a band out here in Jersey called April, May, and the June Bugs.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
See? That little play on words. Yeah. So how did you happen upon this television special?
How did I happen upon it? Well, people said to me, April, you should do a TV special with all your puppets. And I was always looking for a way to do it. And, they kept saying, you should do a TV special. You should do a TV special. So I decided, you know what? I've always wanted my mom to see my show. People come to Vegas, they get tied up. And so the special just kind of wrote itself.
Excellent. They get tied up. Now, how do they get tied up? May.
May, how do they get tied up? Wouldn't you like to know, good boy?
See?
You can get tied up in my room right now.
Whoa!
But yeah, it's like, they just get sidetracked by Vegas. And then also just the other thing too, and this is the really crazy thing, is the first draft I wrote of this was in college. I was going through a really rough time with an acting teacher, and I had a day where all I wanted to do was leave the house and everybody was stopping me. And so I just was like, I'm going to write this one-person show where all I want to do is leave the house. Well, fast forward many years later, my manager, Clinton Billups, I'm telling him I want to do this special. And he said, that's a great idea, but instead of you just wanting to leave the house, all you want to do is get ready for your show in Las Vegas.
Excellent.
And when you're trying to get ready for a show, and you guys and radio and bands, you know this, all you want to do is get ready, and everybody is bothering you.
Everybody's in the way.
Yes, everybody. And it's not like the people that you need to talk to, like the stage manager, the venue person. It's the groupie. It's the It's the opening act. It's the strange guy from down the street.
Now you do perform in Vegas quite often, don't? Where are you at now?
Well, I'm getting ready for another season of April in Vegas, my TV chat show, which I do poolside at the English Hotel in the Arts District. And I'm currently working on a residency called Dummies After Dark. So we're looking for a home for that. So I'm quote unquote nowhere right now, but big things are happening. Stay tuned.
Excellent, because if you need any dummies after dark, I could probably we could supply you with an entire village, April. We could.
It gets dark here earlier.
So besides the very sexy Miss May, what other characters do you have?
I have Dwayne Newton. He's also in the special. He's Mr. Las Vegas twice removed. I have Vinny 2 times, the mobster turned magician. I have Monsieur Mortimer. He's a Rougarou. I have Joe Biden time. And I have Donald J. Trump. Who else would you guys like to talk to?
No. You have a preference, Madison? Who would you like to talk to?
I mean, Donald J. Trump was pretty intriguing.
Donald J. Trump, we have a request for.
Oh, Donald J. Trump. Mr. Trump. President Trump, what are you doing? Hello. President Trump, you're on the radio. My fellow Americans, I love Madison. My love for Madison is huge.
I love it. Who doesn't love Madison?
Madison's blushing.
So, Madison, can I tell you something?
Go right ahead.
You're in line with my daughter.
Ooh. Really?
Yes. So, but President Trump, aren't you supposed to be building the wall? Well, I'm building the wall and Mexico's paying for it. All I have to do is go to the Western Union and pick up the money order. What could possibly go wrong?
Imagine that. So now, when President Trump and May and all the cast of other Textile Americans come out now, do they all infiltrate your show, April, or are they just?
Yes, they all infiltrate my show, and then other Textiles do. But on this particular special, the cast is obviously May Wilson, Vinny 2 times, Monsieur Mortimer, Donald J. Trump, Joe Biden time, and Dwayne Newton. And can I just say that I'm the hugest star of them all, and I'm huge, just like my hands. This is what you have to live with. President Trump, I take your crap, but you don't pay me at all. What can I say? The experience is enough. So, enough about that. Madison, would you like to be my 4th wife?
I'll get back to you on that one.
But you already have a wife, President Trump. It's America. You need the newest, youngest, hottest Ford import.
Well, there you go.
You can't say that on the radio, President Trump. Oh, fake news.
Fake news. That'd be fake news. That's right. Correct. So, April, how can we find this show?
Go to uncagedtv.uk, UNCAGED, TV, all one word, .uk, like the United Kingdom, where where this show airs on some radio stations, .uk/April, like my name.
Okay, there we go. And where can we find you, April? Do you have websites, social media?
Yes, aprilbrooker.tv, and just type in April Brucker on my social media and any social media, and I pop right up.
Okay. And I have some friends that are out in Vegas, so when can they come see you somewhere?
Tell them to go to aprilbrooker.tv, and I'll let them know.
Perfect. All right, April. Well, thank you so much for calling, and say goodbye to May for me.
May, they want to say goodbye. Okay, I'm going to say one thing before they go. President Trump wired me hush money, and it bounced.
And it bounced. Madison's in trouble.
Yes, Madison, you're in trouble. So, Danny, Charlie, I need a new sugar daddy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
We're musicians. We're broke.
You know what? This conversation's so over. Goodbye. She is so shallow. I'm so sorry, guys.
Well, Bruce is here, though, too. He stayed quiet, so he must have all the cash.
Bruce, do you really have all the cash?
No, my wife does.
You know, wife, that's never stopped me before.
No.
You see, I'm stuffed and unstrung. I don't count, Bruce.
Yeah, but I like all my cash, so it stops me.
Oh, your wife's holding your cash? You know what? This conversation's super over. She's out of control, I'm telling you.
That's all right. That's how we like it. All right, April. Thank you so much. And again, your website, real quick.
AprilBrucker.tv, and if you want to see the special, it's on cagetv.uk/April.
Fantastic. All right, April. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for calling Rock On Radio, and we'll talk again.
Rock on!
Rock on, my friend. Have a great night. Bye. There you go. I don't think I've ever been attempted to or a puppet's ever attempted to seduce me.
Yeah.
But I think she liked Charlie better.
That was kind of like schizophrenic.
I thought that same thing.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but there's a comedian, older guy, like probably
Your age?
older than that even.
Wow,
He
my
may
age.
even older than you.
Yeah, wow.
But he's a impressionist, and he does all these political, and he just goes like from one character into the next, and he's good. I mean, he's really good. He does all these politicos, and I mean, funny. And he's an old guy now. I can't remember his name. But speaking of which, DecoEntertainment.com.
Yes.
And what's our Instagram? At Deko Entertainment?
At Deko Entertainment.
Okay. Hey, well, you gave me a list of...
I did. We got a lot of music to play, Danny. What do you want to hit first?
No. What should we do? Should we just go in order of that we have them here? Or
Sure. Want to play a little Bumblefoot?
Yeah, we'll go with Bumblefoot, who was here a few weeks ago. What a great night. I really enjoyed
He's a great guy.
He's
sitting down with him.
He's an amazing person, amazing spirit, and the best guitar player I've ever been in the same room with. So
Yep.
he really is.
Yeah, he
could play.
Oh, my Lord.
God. He's so good. You know, I've been playing guitar since I was a kid. Never worked that hard.
right? Well, here's one from Ron Bumblefoot Dahl, and then we'll be back with more of the Deko group. All right, we're back. That was Bumblefoot here on Rock On Radio. And I've got Bruce and Charlie from Deko Entertainment. We've got Madison here, who, I don't know, Bruce, after tonight, she may not want to stay now. She's been hit on by a puppet.
After tonight, she'll be running Deko.
True. So, we're talking about, speaking of which, Southpaw,
Yes,
they're getting ready to release a new song called
just
video
did
called Mountain Man or
Friday came
Mountain.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful band.
Yeah, they sent it to me, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. But one of the other things, and we were talking about this earlier, or what we were talking about with the as far as capital and where to spend it, how to spend it, type of thing. One of the things that you kind of have on this bullet point list is how do Bruce and Charlie, how do you define success for an artist? Wow. Streaming, touring, ownership. I mean, because at Deko you have everything everywhere, and what I mean by that is you have locals that are signed, you have indies that are signed. You've got major acts that were back in the 1980s were A-listers, and you're literally keeping their career alive. Then you have people like Swirsky and Charlie Midnight. So, what? Go ahead.
Easy for me.
All right.
Success in music or in any of the arts doesn't involve money, it involves happiness.
Right.
Because there's never a guarantee of money.
Right.
But you can guarantee that you're doing something you love. You can source money other ways. Sometimes you get lucky and you're able to make money doing what you love. Sometimes you make sacrifices and you just accept that you're going to have less money because you're doing what you love. But the end result has to be happiness because, I mean, it's an old adage, but money doesn't buy happiness. And what you do with your life, that's what needs to motivate you, make you happy. I think that's Charlie and I, do what we do mainly because we recognize that. Like we love doing what we do. We get to spend lots of times with other musicians. We get to discover new music before anybody else does. We get to experiment with our own stuff. We get to help artists. We get to be really honest with them and guide them. And all that brings us happiness. Because it certainly isn't bringing us any money.
It's hard. It's like, how do you even measure success in the music business?
You don't. Yeah.
You can't. I mean, years ago, it would be the gold or platinum record. That was success. Who gets those anymore? I don't know. I remember having the conversation with Bob Donnelly, who represents one of the guys who represents Deko on our legal team, and his walls. He's probably got 45 golden plaques. Like, it'll never happen again in the music industry. Like, those days are gone. Having that much, not, he wasn't a musician, he represented them, but that was kind of the achievement. A number one album on Billboard was success. And keep in mind, which ties to what Bruce said, just because you had those successes, the gold, the platinum record, number one on Billboard, didn't always, and most of the time, did not equal monetary success. I got many friends that have gold and platinum records, and I can tell you, on the biggest tours of the time, and making $20 a day. I'm talking MTV rotation, top 10 video of the day, gold record, platinum record on a massive stadium tour, and making $20 a day. And still now, no money to show for all that. So
sounds like they had the wrong management team.
Well, and the amount of money that used to get spent back then, and you wouldn't make it, and I'm sorry, Bruce, you're gonna.
No, I was just gonna say that there was a time where record labels were predators with musicians, and they made a lot of money, and then they fed all the other external lawyers, accountants, the people that always make money no matter
Right.
what. Record labels, look, Warner Brothers just shaved $300 million from their budget for investing in new artists. They realize it's a losing proposition most time. So record labels now don't make, especially independent labels, we don't make a lot of money. So, it goes back to having fun. And how do you have fun? Well, you partner up with your artists as opposed to making them an adversary. There's so long there was animosity between labels and artists, and this one would do that. Well, if you just rip down the walls and just true honesty and full disclosure and good guidance, there are so many things record labels could do with what they know to help artists. That makes a lot more sense than putting out 500 CDs. It's not going to pay the rent, and then not selling the CDs and having the artist in debt to you. And now you're telling the artist, well, you sold 100 CDs, but you're not getting any money because CDs cost you twice what they actually cost. And that whole game went on for years and years and years. I think things have to change. And, Charlie and I are agents of change. We don't know how to do it that way. That's not a nice way to treat people. It's not a nice way to treat artists. We respect artists. We are artists. And I think that in the end, that's what it's all about. It's guidance, it's partnership, it's brutal honesty, all the things that musicians need to hear.
Well, we actually, and along those lines, we got a couple of questions from May in Las Vegas here.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you kind of jotted down here is, do you think that most artists understand the real cost of launching a music career? Now, do you mean financially or sacrificially?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a great.
Because if you go to a
took the question
dictionary,
and made it better. So.
well, if you go to a dictionary and you look up passion, the definition is sacrifice. So, go ahead, Bruce.
Well, no, I mean, look. First of all, for me, I'll talk from a personal perspective. I've been doing music since I was a kid, and I do it because it saves me a ton of money on a psychologist. I get to write and purge and then read what I wrote, and I know myself. Mm-hmm. Money never mattered to me when it came to the creative process, no matter what I did. Success is different for everybody, isn't it?
No, that's true. And as far as the sacrifice, it's both. I mean, you're gonna sacrifice financially. You're gonna sacrifice a lot of things. Especially anyone who's been on the road, who's toured or anything like that. I mean, a lot of people think it's all fun and games and everything, and it is. I mean, the hour and a half or the 2 hours on stage are magnificent. It's great, and there's a lot of cool things that happen. But unless you're at this level, I'm holding my hand very high now, and flying around in private jets and everything like that, it's not easy. It's not easy traveling 6-7 hours between shows and then sitting through a sound check and then doing a meet and greet and trying to eat. And as April was saying, and everyone's in your ear, they want to talk to you about this, they want to talk to you about that. Next thing you know, it's like you're on stage booming and you're driving another 6 hours and you're exhausted. So you're definitely you're sacrificing out of your 24-hour day. You're sacrificing 22 hours out of your day to enjoy those 2 hours that you get to spend on stage and to have a career. Yeah, I mean, you're going to give up a lot. I mean, I've seen friends and musicians lose their lives, from giving too much, and marriages and stuff, trying to get their career going. And sometimes it works out in the end, sometimes it doesn't. It turns out to be pretty tragic. So there's a lot of sacrifices in this. But like Bruce said, I mean, I think a lot of us get into this because we came from some kind of weird place or whatever happened to us. And instead of therapy, you know, we picked up a guitar or a keyboard or bashed a drum kit or whatever to get our aggression out. And here we are decades later. Still doing it, still trying to figure out why we're so messed up from, 50-something years ago. So yeah, it's
I gave up.
Yeah, there's definitely therapy in that for sure. But yeah, there's sacrifice, and and some people succeed and some people don't. I don't know in this day and age, the superstars that are out there. I mean, you talk about the Taylor Swifts and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's kind of an anomaly. It's not the norm with a lot of the bands, but and I say this a lot. You can have a career in music. You got to be true to yourself. You have to connect with your fans, and it's something actually Madison said earlier. It's like when I grew up, the mystique was there. Like you didn't know about Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. There's all that kind of stuff.
Right.
All those barriers are gone. Everybody wants to know exactly what you're doing. If you can connect with those fans and have that personal relationship, you don't need a lot of fans to have a career. I mean, you can have. I mean, I think it's like if you have 100 super fans or
1,000.
if you had 1,000 super fans,
It depends on your lifestyle.
Right.
I need 1,000.
Yeah, you need I could use 100 right now. No, but if you had 1,000 super fans and they spent $100 every year on the stuff that you did, it's $100,000 a year.
Right.
You can live on that, and you can be a musician full time. Just by catering to those specific fans, you don't need 1 million fans.
And going back to spending money, don't let the industry atrophy your earnings.
Yeah.
Respect that $100,000 that you made. Don't give it to lawyers. Don't give it to accountants. Don't give it to a record company. Only people that earn it. You have to run it like a business a little bit, or have somebody that's your guide. I used to give lectures at colleges to graduating art students. And they had been taught for 4 years while they were paying for college that, yes, they can go out and be a famous artist designer. They could design jewelry, they could design furniture, they could design all these things, and their name would be on it. And then about 2 weeks before they graduate, the teachers come back to them and say, but you'll probably end up being a teacher. They were exploited, okay? They could have been out doing art, enjoying it, and all the money they spent on school, right, would be in their pocket. So yeah, don't be exploited. Don't get hung up on. If somebody sends you a 40-page contract, they're not the right person for you. Not unless you have a legal team. Just know where to play, know where to go. Charlie's 100% right about playing. Being out there live, but that's hard too. It can be very disappointing because most of the time you're in charge of making sure people come, and it's no different, than when I played professionally years ago.
Which is why a lot of bands won't step outside of their comfort zone.
It's very disappointing.
They may pack a small bar in this area, but then if they go somewhere else, there might be 3 people.
Yeah,
and that's a big blow to their ego a lot of times.
Of course.
One of the things, and we're going to get to some music again real quick, but one of the things you said there, Charlie, that kind of, when we're talking about sacrifice and everything, is that when you make the decision to be an independent artist, okay, right there, you're behind the 8 ball.
100%.
Right? So the whole DIY indie artist thing, and thank God there are guys like you two and Deko Entertainment to kind of help and push them in the right direction. But they're also battling a lot of other things. And for me, you've heard me tell the story. I was 18 years old, and my mom's like, well, you're not going to college, you got to get a job. What do you mean? I got a job. I'm a musician. No, a real job. You need something with regular pay and benefits and so on and so forth. So to accommodate my parents, I got a job. And I get, not that I gave up music, but if I had kept at plan A, there would have not been a plan B option. I may have been a Charlie Calv. Somebody who plays music and enjoys it and gets paid to do it and has seen the world and so on and so forth. But so not only are they battling the industry and the 150 million uploads to Spotify every day, but they're also battling perhaps their own internal support system.
Oh, you give away money to be cool.
Yeah, right.
It just works that way. Charlie had a day job.
Yeah, for a long time. And that
He has kids.
and that helped pay for my kids' college and everything else.
Help pay for your musical career.
It helped
too.
it helped pave the way to come back in.
Right.
Decades later, as an adult with a more mature head and understanding how things work. And that's why I was so passionate about trying to help artists, even older artists. It's like, look, you still need to make money. Let's figure out how we do that with you. And it's true. Like Deko does not make money unless the artist makes money. I mean, the way we structure our deals are when that first dollar is made, no matter what the split is, we both make it together. I mean, sometimes we invest in artists and we take that chance, but we don't make anything until that debt is cleared and then that $1, is split with the artist. Even on distribution, if the artist is paying for, however we do it, we don't make money unless the artist, makes money.
Okay.
Look, in the very beginning of Deko, we went out and signed everybody we liked. And we have a pretty broad palette of music that we enjoy. I mean, I like everything from progressive rock to Broadway. So, and Charlie's got a broad palette too. So we signed everybody we liked and we lost our lungs. And then we had to come up with a way to be able to do what we love, have a good time. It's not enjoyable to me to lose money. I've run businesses. I don't enjoy losing money. I don't need to make money, but losing money makes me feel bad. And I know most artists, independent artists, are theoretically most of them are probably losing money because they're spending money and not getting a return. So we decided, well, what if we became, we understand the business inside and out. What if we became their guardians? What if we watched their wallet for them? What if we said, don't spend that much for a video, go over here. You get a video over here for this much. What if we said, you know what? Don't sign that 42-page contract because you're going to have to pay a lawyer, $7,000 to read the damn thing. It's not worth it. Anybody that has a 70-page contract for an artist is hiding stuff in those 70 pages. And there's a good chance, no matter how good your lawyer is, that your lawyer is going to not read it and miss it. So we'll advise them, don't go there. If somebody will say, we're going to spend X amount of dollars on a radio campaign, we go, why?
Right.
Why? Who's listening?
Yeah.
Okay, are they people that are going to actually buy something? Are you going to get a return on value? So I think as a label, we are not really a label. We're really a guide. We're managers. We're distributors. We're everything but what a label used to be.
And we're also here to negotiate for the artist.
Yes.
Pricing to get stuff.
Love doing
that.
that.
Obviously, major labels don't do that because they want to make all the money. Where we get good manufacturing prices for the artist, we get good PR prices, we get good video prices, and we pass that along to the artist. Why make a $5,000 video when you can do a $500 video? And it looks the same, except for the people that are so in tune because they're creative. You're not selling to those people.
Yeah,
those
they
people
don't-
aren't
they don't
buying your
buy
records.
anything. Those
The
people
people
don't
that are
buy
buying your
anything.
records don't know if you use a $15,000 mic to record your vocal or something you bought at Radio Shack isn't even around anymore.
No, they
But
don't.
like a Radio Shack or something.
They ran it like we ran Deko
Yeah.
the first 2 years.
Back in the day, right? Well, one of your other artists is Red Voodoo, and we're going to get to some music from them right
They're
now.
the best.
Great. I mean, these guys are young. I got the chance to see them like a month or two ago. I mean, Dino's a fantastic frontman and definitely kind of carrying the torch for young music. I mean, just good straight ahead rock.
Yeah.
I mean, Sammy Hagar loves these guys. He calls them the new Montrose, and you can see that in Dino. And the band's great. And they They actually do fantastic. Those guys got fantastic numbers. They sell well for us. Their streaming numbers are probably one of the biggest that we have on the label. Why?
They work as hard
they
as we
work
do. Yeah.
10 times as hard as we do for their career, and we're their support system. So, and Dino's great, and he'll text me, I need numbers for this, I'm working on this, and we work together, and we're there to support him. We're his back-end support. You know, he's the quarterback, man. He's running this, and we're just behind the scenes to help him achieve his goal. And I think those guys, whether it's completely with us 10 years from now or somewhere down the line, those guys will be, you know, the ones that are selling out, you know, arenas and big places, you know, for sure.
Just one look, now I'm hooked, honey, what you want me to do? Instant attraction, you're the queen of satisfaction. Straight out of Vogue magazine, walking in those velvet jeans. She's got style, she wears it well. She's got style. Oh, I can tell she's got moves that make me go wild. My baby's got style. I know what you want. You're playing hard to get, baby, but I'm not backing down, no, not yet. Teaching me a thing or two. With a smile, you're ready to. She's got style. She wears it well. Yeah, she's got style. Oh, I can tell she's got moves that make me go wild. My baby's got style. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Driving me wild. She's got style. She wears it well. She's got style. Oh, I can tell she's got style. She wears it well. She's got style. Oh, I can tell she's got moves that make me go wild. My baby's got style. Oh, yeah. My baby's got style. Driving me wild. Baby's got style.
Red Voodoo here on Rock On Radio, and after throwing off the flirtatious Donald J. Tramp, we have Madison has joined us at the table now.
I'm here. I'm ready.
She's not afraid anymore.
I'm
She's not afraid. And Bruce, I am never going to hear you from back there, my friend. You're going to be like, you're going to.
Scoot on in.
There you
I
go.
could lean in.
Perfect.
We're all packing in.
So we have Madison, and this is her first exposure to
Yeah, I just met her like 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Deko. Yeah, me too.
The start of the
And
takeover.
and so what brings you to Deko Entertainment, Madison?
Well, off my first conversation with Bruce, I was immediately interested. I'd been thinking for so long about how record labels worked and how artists were being treated today. And I always knew it wasn't right. I just didn't have the solution for it. And I wasn't sure what kind of career I was going to pursue. But after hearing Bruce explain to me how they treated their artists and how they were going about the deals so that it was an equivalent partnership, like a true partnership, versus these other major labels who loan you $1 million and then you somehow end up owing them $3 million 10 years down the line. It just always seemed ridiculous. So once I heard Bruce's thoughts and what they're doing with Deko, I just knew I had to be a part of it. And it really is something I believe in, that these artists deserve a good support system and an opportunity to have their hard work go towards something and not just waste all their money away and have nothing to show for it. So. Okay.
And are you a musician or
I'm not. I
just
would
a
say
music fan?
Creative. I'm a big music fan. I was previously working on videos. I've done some music videos for some smaller artists in the New York City area. And that's more just like a passion project thing. I've always loved making videos.
There's that word again, passion.
Yep.
Well, it is. I mean, and I think people see that in us, that we're passionate. I mean, I think it comes up in most conversations. And God rest his soul. I'm looking at his picture over here, Johannes, who was a big supporter of us. I mean, he saw that right away. He's like, I like you guys. He said, I haven't seen passion like this since I first got in the business, 40-something years ago. Because he was like that. We get on the phone, we get like all giddy talking about like artists and stuff like that and laughing. It was just fun because, even at our age and his age, it's like we're still passionate and just as excited as working with these artists now as it was, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And I think people see that with us. They know we truly care. And if it doesn't work out or they don't, maybe they didn't meet the expectation that they expected to get, they know we all tried. And we can, at the end of the day, say,
That's at the end of it. As an artist, at least for me, I don't expect fame, I don't expect fortune, I don't expect, screaming women. That was when I was 22. but I expect that if I give it my all.
Most women scream at me anyway.
It
don't matter.
Security! Why do most artists, why do most musicians take up their instrument? Because they looked in the mirror and realized that wasn't going to work. So for me, it's just about the passion and knowing that when I put something out, which is rarely, because Charlie and I always
we get so big. We've been working on projects for years, and we have
a really great project, and like we move at definitely I'll be dead before 100% before it's done. But Charlie may finish it without me. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just no time to do it.
There's just no
because
time.
We care. It's like. To be honest with you, like other artists would care about themselves first and everyone else second.
Not us.
And that's not us. We're caring about everybody else, and we keep putting our stuff on the back burner. And a year goes by, 2 years goes by, 3 years goes by, 4 years. But you know what? We're helping people.
And having from a business perspective, because I've run large companies in my real career, Deko is very ageless, like. Charlie and I can talk to young people, we can talk to older people. It doesn't really matter. It just seems like that barrier is broken down once you enter the Deko community, because it transfers to like passion, caring for each other, sincerity, honesty, the kind of things the music industry isn't really known for. We need to build that community, and that's how music becomes reborn. Everybody uses music to sell their products. Music doesn't use anybody else. So, one of the things we always look at is how can we expand what musicians do? How can we tie film to music, videos? We do comic books that come with music, off of the music, based on the music. We have all different technologies we're working on for getting music to people in different ways that younger people are more familiar with, as opposed to, so we have multiple audiences, so it's really important to be ageless. So I think that sets us apart in a way. We're not, people in the beginning, right, Charlie, people would go, well, I see you have like all different stuff. Like, don't you have like one genre? Shouldn't you lock in on one thing? And no, we did music.
Yeah, and one of the things you'll find is that people are going to be critical, no matter what you do. They're going to find a reason to say right. So if you're not doing things the way that you think they should
and at the beginning we would butt a lot of heads with the musicians and the artists because they're stuck in that mentality of the way it used to be done. But we're 5 years into it now, and a lot of them have realized, even on their own, the music business ain't like that anymore. And what I heard from these guys 5 years ago, that's the way of the future. Because like what we're doing now, practically everyone else is starting. Even the majors are starting to follow suit of kind of the way we're doing things. So everyone's realizing there's a huge shift going on.
Oh yeah, record labels haven't been the same since.
And we've been having conversations with different people because we do a lot of licensing from the major labels and stuff. And there's a huge shift, especially when it comes to physical product. They want out. They don't want to have nothing to do with it anymore. Right. So which is a good and great opportunity for us because we can fill that void because we do well with physical product. When we got into this 4 or 5 years ago, the company we originally partnered with, their strength was all in digital. Then we came in and they're like, holy crap, there's still a market for physical, and that's why we wind up, through our distributor through ADA, practically every month in the top 40. For physical product for the ADA Warner Group, and Deko is always there in the top 40 because we know how to service that market with physical product, and it's also because they're not doing it anymore. It's not enough for them. They sell 1,000 records, 2,000, 3,000 records. It's not enough for them to invest their time or their money, but for us, it is.
Yeah, and one of the other things that you kind of asked me if we could touch on. Bruce, and I'm not sure.
Don't touch on Bruce. I'm not that way.
Yeah, it's getting a little weird. May's going to be back on.
Ever since
please.
I'm calling May back.
Yeah, no, please don't.
You know what? I want to know what it's like to date April. That's what I want to know.
I want to know.
That's going to be interesting.
I really want to know if her mouth was talking. She was on the damn phone. Was her mouth moving or not?
You want me to call her back? No. So, and because Madison is obviously far younger than we are.
Way younger than us.
She's younger than all three of us.
Smarter than all of us, too.
I think I'm pretty sure I have socks older than you, Madison. But the thing, and this is something that you wanted me to touch on here, Bruce. When I was a kid, I can remember my band, before we went into a recording studio, we did a home recording and made a cassette tape. And sent it off to one of the major record labels in L.A. Might have been Epic or whatever back in the day. I don't even remember. Anyway, and of course we never heard anything at all. But you know what's funny about that is, like, 6 months later, me and my bandmates were listening to the radio, and we heard a song that sounded a heck of a lot like it by some other band. So, now we're thinking, hey, they stole our song, because we didn't have it copywritten or anything. We were just looking to throw something out there and see if we could spark some kind of interest. But do those unsolicited submissions get taken seriously? Like, do people send you guys, like, here, check us out? Or
with us, they do. We absolutely respond.
Yeah, we listen to everything that comes through.
And I personally respond initially to, the team does, and then I follow up. I listen to everything. Charlie listens to everything, and then we respond. Honestly, and we have programs for almost every artist, unless an artist really needs to work on honing their skills so much more. And that isn't usually the case with the
Yeah,
people that
most of
reach
the
out
stuff
to
we
us.
get is pretty good. It's good stuff.
Stuff we like.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we get involved with the artists. I'm up to 3 videos that I made myself for the artists just because I like the song so much. That's when I make videos.
And we try to find a spot for them to fit in. If it's good quality material, if it's a good song, it's a good band. It's like how can we make this fit with what we do?
Yeah.
And try to make it fit in the schedule with everyone else, and give some of the opportunity. And like I said, just kind of give them the support team. And sometimes it might be a one-off thing. Someone's just had this project they really want to get out, and it's really good, and and that's why Bruce says meeting with them and seeing what the expectations are. If they're going to come in and say, well, I want to play Madison Square Garden. All right, we're going to pass on this. Go down the road to the next place. But if it's a realistic expectation and we can help them with that, we'll some kind of plan to work with them. And to see exactly what they're looking for. Some of the musicians actually have somewhat of a career playing. But they just don't have their product out there.
Right.
And they just want to see their product, on Walmart. And on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, we can do that for them, and that's what kind of becomes the disconnect with the DIY mentality. You can only do so much. Annie DeFranco was the real catalyst for the DIY methodology when she started, Righteous Babe, her label, but she was still smart enough to still have that distribution portion of it to get in the stores where people can get it, not just direct to consumer. And that's where a lot of the artists that we kind of help, it's like, they're only selling a couple of CDs here and there because they're only available on their website. And unless someone knows them and it's going to that website, they're not buying it. We can open up the world to them. It's up to them how much they want to push it and make use of it. And some of them made really good use of it.
The world's a cold and cruel place.
Right. Well, one of the hot bands that's out there today is the Cold Stairs.
Oh, I love those guys.
You guys,
Yeah.
and you have them on the Deko roster.
Yeah, we just brought them out. They were on another label, and here's a good story. They wanted to do it on their own.
Right.
We're done with and there was just an indie label that they were on that they did fairly well with, and we're just like, look, you can do it on your own, and that's great, but where are people going to find your record if it's not where they're used to getting it? And let us be your support team, and they were totally on board. And and if we'll get the guys on the show. When you talk to Chris, I think he'll say that he should have listened to me in the first place and let us do all the manufacturing stuff with him, because it turned into a nightmare for him.
Right.
And as the band was on the road, actually, I think in Europe at the time, he's trying to figure out what went wrong with the manufacturing, getting stuff shipped and stuff like that. The band should worry about playing their music and going and entertaining the fans, not because this box didn't get here or they shipped the wrong product here. That's our job, and that's one of the things we can help bands with. It's like, look, you can do it all on your own. You're gonna go crazy because it's a lot of work, especially if you're on the road and still trying to have. Play for fans and do that, and in between trying to figure out where stuff's being shipped and all that. It's too much.
And there's another angle too. I mean, if you think in terms of the 140,000 songs a day that are uploaded to the streaming services, how do you differentiate yourself, no matter how good you are?
Right.
I mean, people aren't going to play 140,000 songs and pick their best one. So, the way you differentiate yourself is by getting in a different stream with less people. How do you do that? You get on a label. How do you get on a label? Well, you don't ask the label to dig a deep money pit for you. You're digging it for yourself anyway. You ask the label to help you make good decisions. You ask the label to guide you. You ask the label to stick up for you. You ask the label to negotiate for you. You ask the label to do things that a label can do for you without losing money. Then it's a lot easier to get on a label. So that kind of is the foundation we've built for Deko, where we could clearly invest our time in an artist put our whole heart and soul into that artist, giving them the best advice, the best service, the best distribution. I mean, they're now all of a sudden they're in this portal where they're being distributed like any Warner Brother or ADA, artist, as opposed to signing with an independent label who throws down, makes 500 CDs and realizes, oh, you only sold 10 in the first 2 weeks. On to the next thing. Well, the next thing nowadays, it can't happen in 2 weeks. You got to have a label that's going to commit to you for a period of time. We ride things out a year, 2 years. We don't give up. Because let's be honest, if nobody's buying it, nobody's heard it, it's new to them. It's new to them. And this got to put more, got to put more. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, we're kind of circling back now with a couple of artists and kind of not repackaging, but kind of re-pushing it out in a different way.
We know it's good.
And it's selling because it's the first time someone's ever heard of it. And it works.
I think Charlie and I kind of see ourselves as kind of the curators of good music for Deko's fans, because artists have fans, but Deko has a really devout audience.
Great customers that buy almost everything we put out, multiple and we have that relationship with some of these people. I mean, I think some got Robin on speed dial when the new release is coming out. I got to make sure I get this. I got to make sure I get. Don't forget to put this, and don't forget. It's just
people asking us, you're going to have the Slash album. You're only going to have so many. What day and exactly what time, so that I could be the first person on the phone. So it really comes down to building the community, and the community is Deko. And then the artists are curated by Charlie and I. They have to be good. They have to be likable. We have to like the songs.
Well, one of those artists that you like, as I said earlier, is the Cold Stares. Yeah. So we're going to play something by them. Now, what's the title of the album?
The title of the album is The Southern Part 2. It's the follow-up to The Southern.
Ah, there you go. Here they are, the Cold Stares.
Yes, I have.
cold stairs here on Rock On Radio. I have Bruce and Charlie, and now we have Madison. We convinced her to come to the table. It's your first time on radio, you said.
It is my first time on the radio. How am I doing so far?
Fantastic.
Nice.
Fabulous. So what will Madison's role with Deko Entertainment be?
She's going to take it over so Charlie and I could get some sleep.
Wow.
Everything. You know, Madison's a bright shining light ready to be turned on, and I think Deko is a wonderful place for her to grow, because we're at a point where we're growing in leaps and bounds. We need help, but we want the right kind of people, and as soon as we talked, I knew she, have to give her an opportunity to be a big part of what we're doing. Harder to find when you're building enterprise, especially when you're a startup and you're exploring new territory, the worst thing you could do is pigeonhole people. It's almost like let them grow. You plant a seed and see what the vegetable is. So, that's probably a bad analogy. I just see Madison has everything it takes to do whatever she wants to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, she has to be doing what makes her happy. She will find that in Deko. And I think we'll let that happen organically, and then we'll overwork her.
Fine by me.
Right? We'll drag her in, and then that's it.
Yeah, I'm in the baiting process.
Right now, we're being nice to her.
Yeah.
The dating process.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you guys also handle merch and everything for artists,
a lot of
right?
artists.
We make merch for
We make
artists.
merch.
Yeah.
You do. So
Oh,
you
we
guys.
get much better prices than they get on our own.
Oh, I'm sure.
And a lot of folks will run the stores for them, because it like I said, it becomes a hassle, a burden, especially the customer service piece of it. If you got a release coming out and you got to ship 100 CDs and stuff gets damaged, a lot of these artists aren't full-time musicians either. They're working day gigs and trying to fit all this in between, and it's a lot to do. So we can take that over for them. We've got the space to warehouse it. We got the team to do the fulfillment, and like Bruce said, we have really good pricing. I don't think, and if they've found better pricing than us, then we go to that company and bring them on board.
Beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
I love getting good pricing. That's my middle name.
Now, is there when is it when an artist comes in and has either heard about you or you've reached out to them or whatever it may be?
We don't really reach
I
out.
don't think
we
we've
have
ever
too
reached
many
out,
artists
yeah.
coming in on their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a weird thing. Like,
We don't sell. I mean, I think we have a great program for any professional independent artist, but I'll tell them about it. I will tell you, I have passion. It may sound like I'm selling, but they've contacted me. We don't never follow up.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever chased any.
No, we just don't.
like from day one we
We
started.
don't want anybody to
and the
us.
phone just hasn't stopped ringing yet.
Yeah, we want to be loved.
Well, what I meant by that was when I have guests of this program, if
And
you
the same
guys
thing,
think
yes,
they
yeah.
have potential,
talking
I know that you, Bruce, always say to them, call me and we'll
Well, I
talk.
usually have them come
Right.
over and
Yes,
sit
you
down
do.
and we hang out and just
Exactly.
talk like we're talking.
Right. So, So when you sit down to them or sit down with them, how does a typical conversation like that go? I mean, what's the business model? I'm representing Madison Avenue.
Okay.
So she is my
initial-
client. What
my
happens?
initial goal is to find out, are they realistic? Because I could only help people so much. I can't guarantee fame.
Define realistic.
Realistic is saying, I know that the odds are against me, but I want to know that I've given it my all.
Okay.
And if it doesn't go all the way, I may be mildly disappointed, but because I know I gave it my all and I had a wonderful time doing it, that was that was a life experience that was well worth everything I did. If somebody's has that mind frame, it's so much easier to work with them. And I think that's, for me, that's critically important to become part of what Deko does, is to understand we're not a record company that's going to spend $4 million to, make sure that you go on tour opening up for Taylor Swift. Because that's not going to do it for you either. They forget you the minute they leave. Right. They're there for Taylor Swift. There are so many just loser things that the industry has done over the years to try to make up for the fact that physical product sales doesn't support anything anymore. And, let's face it, artists, a long time ago, the record companies didn't care about live stuff. They threw that money at the artists. Now it's all that's left. So the record companies are all in trouble. So now you have these two diametrically opposed forces that really the only sense is to work together, because the money bleeds to the attorneys, to the accountants. The money bleeds to the guy that charges way too much for the video, or who, one time did something and rubbed up against some famous artist, and he's still making, he's still charging quadruple for it 40 years later. That kind of stuff the artist needs to be shielded from. And, and I'll be honest with you, artists still, all the time, the first thing, yeah, we have Ed on our album, and he played with so-and-so and so-and-so. It doesn't matter. Nobody's buying your album.
Yeah, nobody cares about
Nobody
that
cares.
anymore.
I'm sorry. People don't want to hear that.
Yeah. That's another thing.
But it's the
thing
truth.
That's a thing of the past. Back 25, 30 years ago, if you had a named guest on your record, it would help.
Yeah.
You would probably get a bump in sales. It doesn't matter anymore. We got records, with Brian May on it, or Slash or whatever. It doesn't matter unless it's that particular art. Unless it's Queen we're selling, that's a different ball game. But if Brian's guest sewing on a record, nobody cares. Why? I don't know. It's a thing of the past. Like years ago, it did mean something. People would look at that record and buy that record because
people listen to music and want to know the story. Music isn't good enough by itself anymore. It's just the reality. We're a listen and look world. Half of the people listen, half of the people look. People get their input different ways, and you can't just do one and ignore the other. That's why music struggles so much. In the old days, even, go back 40, 50 years ago, you bought an album, you got home from school, you couldn't wait to pull the plastic off it so you could read the album cover, play the album, and probably smoke a joint or two. But the truth is, nowadays, we don't give them the album cover anymore. And we wonder, hey, why don't... Well, most people don't just go to Spotify every day and say, what am I going to listen to? Musicians do. People that are very into music, like Madison, do. Most people just don't. That's not how they get their input. But I always use this analogy with my wife. My wife's not a massive music fan by any stretch of the imagination, and even less so after she married me. But if I tell her, we just signed Bumblefoot, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and he's the most amazing guitar player. You want to hear his stuff? She's like, maybe later. But Ron comes here, okay? Or I tell her, I just signed Ron Thal. We're going to do some projects together. And let me tell you, he grew up here, he this, he that, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. He's super passionate, and he's married and this and that. And I give her real background, something to meat on the bone. And then I go, do you want to hear a song? Sure. It's just the nature of the beast. The story has to go with the song. Okay? We don't pay enough attention to words in music. People put out a video, then they put out a lyric video. And they should always probably be lyric videos, because people like my wife want to know, what did he say? What are the words? And we just shut that part out. We don't think in business sense. of how to curate an audience to get them to listen to the music. And that's what Charlie and I work on, and Madison will be working on.
That's one of
in
the things we
future.
talked about earlier, right? It's
Yeah.
getting the behind the scenes stuff because people want to know about that now.
That's right.
The personification of the artist versus just another person being pushed at them, because the market is so saturated now. Anyone can go listen to any of the millions of songs on Spotify, and just because there is some feature of some famous artist, that's not enough anymore because they don't know who that other artist is. And I think people can also kind of see through those same ploys of, oh, well, that famous person is just on that song because they got paid to do that. They didn't necessarily co-sign that other artist. And if there isn't that story and personification of that other artist, why would they care? Because there's 40 other artists they do know about and they do care about. And it's just a matter of how much energy they have.
Yeah, ask yourself, who are these 140,000 people that upload a song every day? It's more than 140 people, obviously. So maybe it's 1 million people. Who are these 1 million people that are artists? There weren't 1 million artists back when Charlie and I started, right? No, there weren't nearly as many. Well, you know who they are? They're the fans.
Yeah.
The same fans that played,
Guitar Hero.
And then we gave them more technology, and all they're trying to do is be like us. It's our job to step up and be more. And we're, so many musicians are stuck in the mud. What Charlie and I try to do is light a fire under them and say, no, you have to do more. You have to think out, like I said, get a bigger box.
Right.
I hate that think outside the box thing. It's so overused. So I just got a bigger box. But it certainly helps.
Well, we also, one of your artists, Resolution Alley.
Jason.
It's a great kid. I think he drove all the way up from Maryland to meet us. We were doing a show. I can't remember who he came to see.
That's one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Tiffany maybe. No, it wasn't Tiffany.
I can't remember. Anyway, so we're doing like these up close and personal shows, which we're continuing to do in New Hope. So everyone, stay tuned for those. And he drove all the way up to Maryland because he knew we'd be there, just to hand us a CD of his stuff. So we were pretty impressed that the kid actually, drove, 5 hours to come up and catch the show and meet with us.
He's going to be on your show, I think, next week.
Yeah.
So.
And it was great. It was really, really good stuff. And it's one of these situations where very talented kid, put together a great album and just wanted it to be heard. I mean, that was basically his story. It's like, we can do that for sure.
And we can help you with that.
We can help you with that. And then he wound up doing, I think, like 2 lyric videos, and he wound up doing vinyl. He just sent us a really nice email thanking us for all the help and stuff like that. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's really good.
Also, he came at a time where Charlie and I were just about to shut down signing new acts unless we knew we could break even or make money on them. And we listened to his stuff and said, yeah, but if we lay out the money to do this, and we're going to probably lose money on him because, he's, the odds are. And Jason's very realistic about what he does. He has a day job, actually a night job, playing in the theater. For the big plays in Washington, D.C. He's a brilliant musician. So he's stuck in my head for a long time.
Over a year, I think.
Yeah, and I will tell you, motivation to reconstruct Deko for an artist that really needed our help came from him, for me. It came from him. Because he was somebody Charlie and I would have signed in a heartbeat, except for the financial situation of trying to figure out how you leverage out Deko and how quickly it's growing, with the fact that we're losing money twice as quickly as we're making it. So we were able to work with Jason 2 years later maybe, and it's phenomenal. I mean, we're doing a great. He loves the job we're doing for him, and my motivation was that we had to say no.
the same. Like similar occasions, I tried writing out the pain, sharing every hope and tear. It's elegant but not eloquent, I fear. I don't wanna be your one-hit wonder, don't wanna be in your top 10, or that perfect melody that you used to dance with way back when. Just flip it over and you'll find me on the B-side, 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 and you'll find me off the beat. Can't find the beat, can't seem to find the perfect rhythm, but now I'm on the beat, now I'm on the time, still can't find the words to change your mind. Scratching out the moments of another year, it's elegant but not eloquent, I fear. I don't wanna be your one-hit wonder, don't wanna be in your top 10, or that perfect melody that you used to dance with way back when. Just flip it over and you'll find me on the B-side, and you'll find me on the B-side, and you'll find me on the B-side. The B-side, the B-side, the B-side, the B-side, you'll find me on the B-side, the B-side. Living on the B-side, the B-side, living on the B-side, the B-side, the B-side, the B-side, the B-side, the B-side. I don't wanna be your one-hit wonder, don't wanna be in your top 10, or that perfect melody that you used to dance with way back when. Just flip it over and you'll find me on the B-side. Just flip it over and you'll find me on the B-side, 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 the B-side.
Resolution Alley here on Rock on Radio. Two quick things before we have to wrap it up. Number one, where do you see Deko going in the future?
Where do I see us going? I think we're going to continue to grow in a couple different areas. One is helping out, a lot of the younger up-and-coming artists, with the distribution and program we have in place. I think as we head into 2026, you're going to notice some other bigger artists coming our way, which we hope to announce soon.
We can't say.
Can't say yet, but it's going to be really, really cool. And we've done really well with our reissue projects. And we're going to continue down that road because people really, really like them. I think we do a great job with it. What I mean by that, and there's a lot of records approaching 50th anniversary, 30th anniversary, 40th anniversary. And we go in and we license the stuff from Universal or BMG and we put it out on really cool looking vinyl. We remaster it, 180 gram vinyl, great packaging. And the fans just digging it. I think we first did it with the Union Records, which was Bruce Kulick from Kiss and John Cryer from Motley Crue. And that was fantastic. We sold that out 1,500 copies in a day. And we said, okay, I think we can do this.
I'm very fond of both those gentlemen, by the way.
Yeah, great guys.
They are.
Well, yeah, so we went through. We did Dokken. We did Slaughter. We just did Warrant, which was really successful.
Setzer.
We're going through and doing another Warrant one. We did all three of the Brian Setzer Orchestra records. Did really well for us. We've got great guitar player Stevie Sowell's coming up next. 30th anniversary of that. Ugly Kid Joe's coming up, Menace to Sobriety, 30th anniversary of that. And then we got a really great early 70s band, Armageddon, which has got the guys from Captain Beyond and Keith Rell from the Yardbirds. One-time album, 50th anniversary, never been reissued since 1975. So we got that coming up and a bunch of other reissues. So the combination of everything, you'll see us expanding. We had some things going on this year that slowed us down a little bit, but we're just about through that. And then 2026, we hope to double what we did, this year and
All
the
right.
previous year.
Well, and our last thing is a song, Bruce, that you put together because you're going through some stuff. So
Yeah, I just wanted to do a shout out to, look, when we get older, we have medical stuff. We all do. And I have a great staff, great support staff. I'm as happy as I've ever been. Makes no sense. But I wanted to put my heart and soul into giving something back and sharing something. And, I did the tune, and I hope it does that. That was the goal. It wasn't about, woe is me, that's for damn sure. It's more about things could go, you could be realistic and hopeful at the same time. And I think that hopefulness is a magic pill, along with the actual pills you have to take. And that's what this was about.
And he's great. I mean, I've known people that have gone through stuff like this, and the outlook and the attitude is beyond amazing. It's like I think he gets excited on Thursdays when he goes for his treatments, or when we chat or whatever. It's like,
well, they all play this song there, and I'm a rock star at the hospital.
well, this is a Bruce Pucciarello original called Chemo.
When a rock stops its roll, and my body's got the demon, and the moon doesn't set, and the sun can't find a reason, and I'm fighting for some air, but life gives me the big heave-ho, then I end up in a comfy chair, getting all jacked up on chemo. Don't take my word, am I fed? When you think that there's no way, did I reap what I sow, or is a godly hand moved out of play? When I'm sick or I'm well, but my nose don't have a sense of smell. When I hurt, when I cry, sucked into a place I can't deny. This pox on my soul is forging me a different path. And I know I'm not insane, but I don't cry, I start to laugh. As the drugs I ingest find a home among the enemy. In a race, try to tame something that could clearly spell the end of me. So I rise for the call and try to shut down all the emo. I'm a soul hanging on, praying to live through one more chemo. I'm a soul hanging on, looking to find another chance. In the dark, eyes closed, and I wish that I could find my lamp. Of a life untamed, and I slide down serration on a rusted razor blade. The cells start to engage like a gamer that has never played. Is it to or is it fro? Will it run like hell or stay and grow? In my world with control, surrendered to things that I don't know. Oh, I'm so hanging on, praying I live through one more chemo. I'm also hanging on, looking to find another chance. In the dark, eyes closed, and I wish that I could find my lamp. I can write, I can talk, it's the Super Bowl I wanna walk. And instead of my gripes about someone else's sacrifices, I would rap about my fight while leading others to the light, where my enemies are friends and we share a love that never ends. Where my friends follow suit and they never need a chemo boost, and I can find the star where it all resolves, and it isn't far from the tune and the truth. And the notes I play on the notes I play on my guitar, when there's chemo in my blood and chemo in my soul. And it's a chemo rope I need to climb to get out of this hole. As the drugs I ingest find a home among the enemy. In a race, try to tame something that could clearly spell the end of me, or a miracle that can happen through the eyes of passion. Science, it's my friend and my savior, so I'll continue my reliance. So I rise for the call, block out all the emo. I'm also hanging on, praying I live through through one more chemo. But so hey, you know I'm playing. I'll live through one more chemo. I'm a soul hanging on.
Before we go, one of my favorite bands that signed to Deko Entertainment, and they're a recent signer, are Jump Back. Here is a tune from their latest album called Misunderstood. Here's Denied.
When I see you out and about, I get that so good feeling inside. When I see you out and about, I get that so good feeling inside. But I'm so afraid to talk to you, so afraid I'll be denied. I don't know what you do to me, but my feelings I can't hide. Don't know what you do to me, woman, but my feelings I can't hide. Still I'm so afraid to talk to you, so afraid I'll be denied. Need to see you, need to hold you. From afar it just won't do. No, no, no. Need to touch you, need to love you. Hope you feel that same way too. Yeah. Now I walk up and say hello. You look up and give me a smile. When I walk up and say hello, you look up and give me a smile. So glad to sit and talk to you. So glad to sit and talk for a while. Can't believe I'm not denied.
That's it, guys. We got to wrap it up. Madison, any final words?
Everything's awesome.
There
You guys are awesome. This was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next week, rock on! Hi, this is Danny Coleman, the host of Rock On Radio, the Rock On Radio Indie Hour, and Danny Coleman's Got the Blues. If you ever want to get in touch with me or find out more about me and my programs, please visit DCROR.com. That's the quick link for Danny Coleman's RockOnRadio.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support.